Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I'm here for another recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I didn't get to watch it with y'all Sunday Night Live. I didn't get a chance to tweet because I was at the Drake concert and I had a damn good time. So when I got home, I was still tired, but I was able to watch it yesterday after Love and Hip Hop New York. So I got a chance to watch it, and I heard that the episode was off the chain, and y'all, it did not fail to disappoint me. So when the episode starts, we see Kandi. She's sitting on the couch with Cameron, and she's telling Cameron about everything that happened at the dinner with Momma Joyce and Todd. And they're sitting there talking, and Cameron, you could tell that Cameron's kind of irritated and that she feels some type of way. Basically telling Kandi that she needs to talk to her mother and tell her mother what she's doing is wrong, but Candy's not really trying to hear that. She's saying that she doesn't know what else to do. And then Todd ends up walking in on them while they're in the middle of the conversation, and Todd, starts talking to Kandi and telling Kandi the same thing. Like, you don't have to be disrespectful to her, you don't have to go off on her, but you do have to let her know that, I'm your future husband and that she needs to respect me and she needs to respect this household. But Kandi is like literally scared to put her mother in her place. It was just kind of just heart-wrenching to watch this scene with her, Cameron and Todd. It's like these are the two people who really care about her in her life, and her mother's trying to, put this wedge in between all three of them. So moving on to the next scene, we have Cynthia and Leon. Cynthia finally called Leon, who is Noelle's dad, and she calls Leon to tell Leon that Noelle has a boyfriend. The boyfriend's name is Arthur. And so Leon decides to come over and come speak to Noelle. And I just love their dynamic. Like, I just love the fact that he's a strong black man, he's a good father, and the fact that they can just all co-parent this girl is such a blessing. It's like Leon gets along with Peter, Peter gets along with him, and they both love Cynthia to death. Noelle does not realize how lucky she has it, because a lot of kids her age, they either have one parent, that one parent may not even care about them, hence the whole Kandis situation with her mother. So Noelle needs to realize how blessed she is that she has so many adults in her life that care enough about her to, to try and guide her in the right path. So I definitely enjoyed watching their dynamic and them talking and how they were, trying to explain like how they're going to talk to her about sex and things like that. And I just applaud them, even though they're an older parenting couple. These aren't, parents in their 20s. I applaud them for being more liberal about the situation and not trying to turn a blind eye to it or, play the whole, not my child would never date, my child would never have a boyfriend. They're facing everything head on instead of trying to ignore the fact, that Noelle is in this relationship, and they're trying to make sure that everything is healthy and okay and that there's an open line of dialogue. And I think that that's what kids need. When parents sit there and they try and front and act like their child is so innocent, their child will never, well, those are the kids who end up getting knocked up because they're trying to hide everything from their parents. So I really do applaud Cynthia and Leon and Peter for being great parents to Noelle. Okay, so in the next scene, we go on to Phaedra and Apollo. And they just seem so uncomfortable together. It's like their dynamic has really fallen out since the first and second season. Apollo comes in to apologize to Phaedra. She still has an attitude about the whole Kenya Moore and, about the whole Kenya Moore and Apollo texting each other. And I'm kind of over it. It's like, come on. It's been a whole week. Get over it already. Talk to him. Let him know what he did wrong. But don't sit there and hold this grudge and hold this anger and this animosity. And he finally apologized to her. And so she finally did accept his apology. And he basically told her, like, I miss you. I miss the old you. I miss the fact that, you would be spontaneous. You'd be freaky. You'd bend over. And I could just touch you. And we could, go off into the bathroom and go, sneak off and have sex. And she's like, yeah, I know, I understand that, but I'm really busy with school and this and that. But I'll be available. There'll be a new favorite within 4 months. And it's like, come on, your husband is pleading to you for a little bit of your attention and your time. You need to give it to him so he doesn't start wandering and looking away and, start going towards the Kenya Moores of the world, and so that way he can focus all his attention on you. So I think Phaedra's messing up by kind of playing Apollo to the side. And I hate when adults do that, when they feel like they can just, set you on a shelf and then come back and pick you up when they feel like it. Well, by then it's too late. We're adults here, and when people feel that it's okay to treat other people like inanimate objects, then it's time to move on. Okay, so in the next thing we see Nene and Gregg leaks. They're going to go visit Nene's old friend from high school. His name is Chuck, and he's a former NBA player. And his wife's name is Monique. Chuck was also in the wedding. He was one of Gregg's groomsmen. So they're sitting there talking, and they're chopping it up at this little Sunday brunch together in the backyard. And Nene's throwing a lot of unnecessary shade. So first she brings up Candy's name, and she's asking him, well, didn't you used to date Kandi? And he's like, yeah, she was a one-hit wonder. So basically trying to make it look like he just kind of hit it and quit it. And it's just like, why would Nene even bring that up, especially when you guys are in the presence of his now wife? And then they go on to talk about Phaedra. Now, so the thing I found disrespectful and just tacky about the whole conversation is that Nene was throwing mad shade. Nene was shading Kandi, she was shading Phaedra. You know, she basically asked Chuck and put him on the spot and was like, didn't she used to date Kandi? And he was like, yeah, you know, it was just a one-hit wonder. And basically he's meaning that he hit it and he quit it and he kept it moving. But I'm thinking to myself, why would Nene even bring this up? If that's your friend and you guys are going there to go visit them, then you need to talk to him about how you and Gregg are doing since the wedding. Get off of all the other ladies. And I also found it really disrespectful when Nene basically called Phaedra the head doctor. She said that back in the day, Phaedra was known to have a bunch of guys at her house and she was basically giving them head, and she's no brain surgeon. You know, what I found kind of funny about that is that during the reunion show, her and Phaedra got into it, and when Phaedra was telling her, you know, I do know you, we went to school together, Nene swore up and down that she was so much older than Phaedra, and yes, Phaedra went to her high school, but Nene wasn't there at the time, and that, you know, Nene was from New York City. But then here in front of Chuck, she's admitting to growing up in Athens, which we all knew, and then she's also admitting that she went to high school with all of them. So it's almost like, which one is it, Nene? Did you go to school with them? Do you know Phaedra like that, or do you not know Phaedra like that? Make sure you keep your story consistent before you sit there and try and put her on blast for being the head doctor. So the next thing, Kandi decides to hold a cardio cabaret party at her house, and so all the ladies decide to come and join her. I don't know what invitation Cynthia had, but when Cynthia showed up, she looked like she was just ready to rock for Solid Gold Soul. She had on all this shimmery and sequins and a hat, and I'm like, it's a cardio thing. Where's your exercise gear? I love Cynthia, but she was being very model in that scene. So when Nene comes, so then finally Nene walks in and she's talking about her granddaughter and how her granddaughter walks like a little drunk. And I thought that was cute. That reminded me of the old Nene, the funny Nene. You know, I don't like this new arrogant Nene, the one that talks like she's so much better than everybody. But she decides to invite all the girls to Savannah. And at that point, everybody's like, well, where's Porsha at? You know, I thought Porsha was coming. And Nene drops the bomb that Porsha's in the hospital. And everybody's like, oh my God, what happened to her? And Nene's not too sure. So later on in the scene, we see the ladies dancing and they're working out. And Kenya makes a little fly remark at Phaedra. You can clearly see her tummy. Phaedra just had a baby about 2-3 months ago, so she's still kind of overweight in her middle section, but she's trying to work it off. Then Kenya makes a remark talking about that she needs to make sure that she sends Phaedra a copy of her DVD, you know, which I thought was kind of, you know, a low blow, because for one, it seems that Kenya more wants the life that Phaedra has. She wants a husband, she wants children. Phaedra has everything that Kenya secretly wants. So her throwing them little sly remarks, that don't mean nothing. You know, I thought that was really, really tacky. I think Phaedra looks damn good for having just had a baby a few months ago. So in the next scene, we move on to Porsha Stewart and her ditzy sister. So they're sitting there talking at the clinic. They're picking up her prescription, and she's talking, you know, Nene happens to call, and she's telling Nene that she had fainted on the plane, or, you know, she had fainted somewhere, and she wasn't feeling good, and it's because of stress, and she had to, you know, she was real dehydrated. And then the next thing, you have her and Lauren. They're basically testing out this blood pressure machine, and the blood pressure basically says that Porsha has hypertension and that she needs to go get checked. So instead of her taking this seriously and trying to figure out what hypertension is, you know, what causes it, where is it coming from, she basically blames this on Cordell. She says that she feels like Cordell is basically trying to send some voodoo towards her so that way she can get sick, because there's no way that she should have hypertension at the age of 32. You know, I'm just like, I'm so over Porsha and her whole Cordell bashing. It's getting old. She's immature. Worry about your health. Make sure there's not nothing serious going on. And leave Cordell the hell alone. He's moved on. She needs to move on as well. The little pop shots at Cordell, him being gay. Now he's a voodoo priestess. It's getting kind of old, boo. I'm going to need you to get a better storyline. Okay, so now to the grand finale. Momma Joyce. Momma Joyce showed her ass during Kandi's thing. I couldn't believe it. So you have the setup is where Kandi, Cameron, and one of their mutual friends, they go take Kandi shopping for a wedding dress. So Kandi's there to try on dresses. Momma Joyce and her sisters come walking in like an OG Crip gang. So they're walking in, they have an attitude, the whole vibe changed. Because initially when it was just Cameron, Kandi, and old boy, they were all cool, they were laughing, joking. As soon as Momma Joyce and the Cripettes walk in, it's like the whole mood changed. Momma Joy had a scrawl on her face. You know, she just kept mugging Cameron. I was just really disgusted by Momma Joyce's behavior. You know, she was acting like a straight up ghetto ass hood rat. It's like she done showed up with the crew of 80 Crips. She's going off on Cameron, talking about that she shouldn't be there and that she knows Todd better than anybody. And Cameron's like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean that I know Todd better than anybody? And then she starts to insinuate once again that Cameron is sleeping with Todd. So Cameron gets upset, but I will give Cameron her props. She kept her composure. She wasn't no loud, crazy, angry black woman. She held it down, and I really respect Cameron for that, because I don't have a lot of patience for bullshit. I'd have been trying to run up on Momma Joyce. You know, it's just like, you just have to have respect for people. You don't accuse somebody of something that you don't have proof of. And for her to constantly bring it up, I definitely believe Cameron when she says that Momma Joyce is the one spreading the rumors. You know, it seems like anybody who gets close to Kandi, who Kandi likes and who Kandi looks out for financially, all of a sudden Momma Joyce feels some type of way. And it's crazy. Twitter drugged the hell out of Momma Joyce. I was cracking up when I was going back and reading the tweets and looking at the pictures. I'm going to post some of the tweets for you guys now. But it's like everybody's just so tired of Momma Joyce and her antics. I'm to the point now where I've come to the conclusion where I believe that either Momma Joyce is popping mollies and she don't know how to, you know, come down from her high, or she's working on getting a spin-off show. Because she's putting in work like a straight up slave. She is showing out. How the hell do you pull off your shoe and you're ready to throw it at somebody? You're a grown woman. Ma'am, this is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is not Basketball Wives. If you want to see some ratchet ass shit, if you want to see people run across tables and take off shoes, we tune in and watch Evelyn and Shawnee and them. When we tune in to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, we know it's not the classiest show, but we're not tuning in for all the extra fuckery either. You know, I just feel like Momma Joyce needs to have several seats. She not only disrespected herself, she disrespected Kandi, and she just made herself just look like a bitter-ass, old-ass black woman. And it's just sad that Kandi can't find any happiness because her mother's bullshit. But anyways, the Real Housewives of Atlanta definitely ended with a bang. Carmen basically told Kandi that she needs to make a decision. She needs to choose either her mother, her, or Todd. She needs to put her mother in her place, and Kandi was still stuck on stupid, not knowing what she should do. So anyways, thanks for watching this review. Go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, deuces.